Hi guys. So I have this special book I want to talk about. This is one interesting book, and it's one of the I do recommend it for you guys to read it too. It's really important and really good stuff. It talks about the eternal life and where are people going in the universe and why things happen naturally and the cause and effect. So think of cause and effect as the scientific like ways why people die in a different way, why the methods are kind of like eternal life, like God exists and stuff like that, things around us. So yeah, let's begin. So this book talks about the eternal life of the souls. So it talks about why things happen to us, why do karma happen, why do good things happen to some people, in lives, and devastation or like devastation times, and especially the midterm times, So yeah, it's a really good book. So how do you apply this? Well, let me see. You can apply this through media, definitely. When I read this book, I was asking myself a question like, how do you apply these concepts by reading this book in this world? It applies to God exists because spiritual exists, right? So think about spiritual things. So I would say this book is more like a scientific studies, because by looking at the cover of the book, you could tell there's stars, right? Look at the blue and the little yellow, like glowing lights. So yeah, it tells about like some glowing, and this is talks about the journey of soul. It's one of the good books I do recommend you guys to read. It's a really good one. Definitely like check it out. You can also order it on Kindle for like $10, I believe. Yeah, yeah, $10 on Kindle on Amazon. You can rent it, and it's a really good book, and you guys should definitely read it. It's really good. Yeah. So yeah, um, definitely read it out. Check it out. It's a really good book. Just that like this book breaks down a lot of different points, like different ways of how it talks about eternally life and where do people go when they die. It talks about the heavens, talks about a lot of like stars related to planets, really good stuff. So yeah. And what this means is that those souls who are currently incarcerated in one of our more bodies at the moment may not be actually engaged with welcoming anybody back. So this talks about when someone passed away one day. It's like your body doesn't exist anymore. It's like it's kind of like talks about like your body kind of like just shift it away like a ghost for like spiritual ways. So yeah, this is a really good book, and there's so many to talk about this book. It talks about paranormal stuff too, and talks about sharing the bond of your life and the memories, talks about all those and how things erupt different ways too, especially the planet and how our lives kind of like shifts in different paths and especially the time zone too. When we're talking about timing, we're talking about like humans daily life, what we do. It's like we eat, we go sleep, time flies. That's like a daily thing. Especially through media, that happens, of course. Like Mia, you click on something on news, it goes really quick on the timeline. There's like, okay, the next news moves on to the next hour, something happens. So there's like a report of news too. So yeah, this is a really good book. Um, it also talks about the peace that like eternal life and the sessions, hearing voices in your head sometimes and like the light of spiritual that brings light to you, the power energy, that you feel. So when we're talking about energy, energies are like good and bad, just depends like on what kind of energy you catch. Like, when we get nightmares, sometimes we get this kind of spiritual feeling like in this dream, like something's gonna happen, but it doesn't. But what's the cause of it? And that's a case study of it, right? So the souls are like, where you belong, like the souls, like human souls, and why you were to um um so this book is really good. It has like a PhD on it too. And the person that wrote this is called Michael Newton. Really good. Talks about the life. So when you think about lives, what does it mean to you, like lives? That's a good question, right? So lives. So lives means like it could be animals, dogs, it could be like humans, it could be all things around us. Aliens exist, for example. That's lives. Spiritual lives, so many lives. And that's pretty much it. And I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. Thank you.